to doing, you know, just the best design that you can. Ken Scott was a very famous American-Italian designer. He was American, but he lived and worked in Milano. And I met him, and I showed him Sarno's townhouse, and he said, I just bought a house in Cuernavaca. You never know where it's going to come from, a job. And he said, I'll pay you the salary that you were getting here. Go to Cuernavaca, I'll pay you in cash, it'll be much more, and do my house. I had nothing to hold me back. I was just a kid. I said, sure, okay, I love it. I went to Cuernavaca. I spent a year and a half there doing this house. I grew a mustache to look older because I had all these men working under me and I needed their respect. And the mustache helped, believe it or not. So and Ken really let me do whatever I wanted, and he loved color, and he said, this is Mexico, look at the color, use it. He was my color mentor. And I did this living room for him, which is all, the ceiling is painted with very, very, very shiny paint in the chartreuse green. The walls are green Mexican tile, dark green Mexican tile. The fabrics are all Ken Scott's, and one of his fabrics was of the clay-like squares in different colors, which I had Mexican weavers weave into rugs. So the other lesson from this is, if you see the opportunity to really express yourself as a designer, as a professional, seize it. Don't be afraid. Don't hold back. Look at this. I mean, try to present this scheme to a client today, and they say, are you nuts? And then you have to go through this whole thing of showing it to them. I have a technique where when I'm with a client, they're not getting something. I go to their head and I said, I'm just planting seeds. Or if you're showing them a chair and they're not seeing it, it's a fabulous chair, you know they're not seeing it. You know, if you were a chair, you'd be that one. Why would I be that chair? Because of this and this and that. You know, you just massage it a little bit. Okay, I love the chair. Humor is one of the most important tools that we have. Laughter is one of the most important gifts that we got from heaven, from God. Use it. I use it all the time. I love it. I have more fun. So now let's go to the next picture. Totally the opposite. A very, very beautiful white-on-white bedroom for a bachelor. He was very happy with it. He loved it. I got more work from him. This is a very beautiful pale green bedroom with Fortuny fabric used as a border for a baroness on Fifth Avenue. It's great. A bedroom in a loft in New York. I have nothing to do with the fur. It's politically incorrect. The client owned it, but it's fabulous. This is an apartment on the west side. Client who reads a great deal. We did a bookcase in this bedroom, and we also had a library as well. A really wonderful color in this room. It's almost like beet red. It was very unusual for another client who loves color, who is one of my favorite people in the world. This is a bedroom for a house in Telluride. As you can see, all the work is very different. And I pride myself on that. Because when I do a job, I don't do it for me, as Samuel Botero, the designer. I do it for the client. I express the client. I put myself in there, of course. But I take into account who they are, what their background is, what they have, and where they're going. Ken Scott's house in Mexico again, this wonderful bedroom. There's sheets. you can see how well sheets can be used for window treatments and how much fun you can do. 1 or 2 rooms, a mirror room, in a pool house in Westchester, which is very simple, very zen. The client wanted it to be very, very zen. I think I accomplished it. An apartment in Park Avenue, the bedroom, again, they wanted a very serene color. And they didn't even want any major art or anything, just nothing to disturb the eye. This is a room that has something that is actually very dated. This was done in the 1980s, I forgot what year, 87, I think. And at that time, everybody wanted all this storage. They didn't have enough storage. And they would turn the front of their bed, the front room part of their room into storage, drawers, cabinets, everything. And in this case, it had to be done out of formica or laminate, which I warn people about because I'm now old enough to see what happens to laminate. It doesn't hold up well. So be careful. Bedroom in Telluride, it's the guest bedroom. It's done to look like a, chalet. This is a bathroom here in New York. The sink is very special because I found it at a dealer's who claims that it's about 400 years old, the stone, and it could be, it looks that way. And that it was a sink then. I don't know if it was a sink, the stone, I think it's 400 years, but it's beautiful. And I contrast it with the glass legs. This is a bathroom where I used ethnic fabrics on the floor. It's a rug, they're pieces of rug. It was a rug that the client had. And I love to use rugs and cut out the bad parts and use them as a fabric for a rug. A very, very country, feminine bathroom for an apartment on Central Park West. I just finished another job for the same clients. And Telluride, a very beautiful bathroom. I love the way this is, but that vanity was not a very important antique, but it was an antique console that we took the top off, we kept it intact, and then put in a stone top for the sink. That's a vanity. The same house, the powder room, which we did, this is a very arts and crafts kind of powder room, with again a very shiny ceiling. I like shiny ceilings. A bathroom, the same job, the master bath. Using them was wonderful, rare, highly painted marbles together, and then doing the walls in a kind of like a purplish, like an aubergine, light aubergine color, which was very daring. Dining area, for breakfast area in the house in Telluride, and as you can see, we had an artist paint trees that reflect the trees outside. It's like the outside thing. It's very, very beautiful. I love this picture. There's a loft, and it's all stainless steel, and a silver painted lacquered top table. Another kind of diner. This is a wonderful Tibetan rug with smiles. There's a tiger rug really. That fireplace I designed, and we were driving in the country and saw all these rusted pipes, and I said to my client, it would be great to get some of those pipes and then do a mantle with and do a table with. And he did it. He got the pipes. I don't know how he did it, but I was then called, the pipes are here, what do you want to do with them? So, the dining room, Park Avenue, I love the color. It's very stylized, and that horse is just wonderful. Princess Yasmin Aga Khan's dining room, all set up for a formal dinner, and it was just beautiful. This dining room, I think, is ethereal looking. If you use taffeta for window treatments, it's a wonderful material to use because it has body, and if you punch it from the back, it stays wherever you put it. So it's very rich and elegant and almost like ball gowns. Another dining room, the entry, where I created archways into all the main entrance of that apartment because the client entertains a lot in that way. People can circulate. But this was a beautiful blue. It's kind of like a cornflower blue, which was very difficult to find the fabrics and to create it, but it was worth it. So, this is a house in Connecticut, and it was the dining breakfast area, and I did an angled window, bay window, which gave it a different dimension. And then he had been to Prima Donna and loved it, and he wanted a ruin, so I gave him a painted ruin. Just a very classic French-style dining room on Park Avenue with racy wallpaper. And window treatments are fun to do. And can you stop this for a second? Dining rooms are great because when you do rooms like living rooms, you do rooms like bedrooms and all that, people lived in them for a long time. But dining rooms are eventful rooms. People go for a short amount of times. They're usually to celebrate something. So you can be more adventuresome in a dining room. You can have more fun. You can do more daring things in a dining room. Thank you. Ken Scott's dining room in Cuernavaca, with its fabrics and just the simplicity. The fountain I designed. It was the first fountain I ever designed in my life. And you can see the close-up of the fountain here. Water comes out from the little thing. And we were able to plug the ones we didn't want to have water, because then it got too noisy. The loft that we saw before, the dining area, the view of the Empire State Building, the Venetian chandelier. House in Palm Beach, so this is where the suntan came from. I just came from there. And we are always doing work with this wonderful lady. This is the entry, and this is the most stylized window treatment I ever did. And what I did is that I had string put behind the fabric and pulled it, so that it pulled it into that beautiful tie back. The same house, the tapestry was wonderful. And a Julio Larraz painting to the right. The table is Venetian, and it came from Didier. It's the same house, Louise Nevelson, over the fireplace. And I love to mix things like those informal rattan chairs from the 1930s with more formal kind of furnishings. I think that makes them more interesting. Murals are wonderful to use and to have fun with. This is a beautiful mural done by the late Philip Reed, and it's a great dining room. It's really fun. I'm very fond of the monkey and all of the things. It's very beautiful. She wanted a movie star bedroom, and she got it. That's what she said. I want my bedroom to look like a movie star's. Here you go. This is the vanity for that. She said, I want my vanity to look like a ball gown. So I felt like a fashion designer and did that. Powder room, the same kind of style of the window treatment as the white one that I showed you before. This is fun. Can you stop here for one moment? The vanity. We went to the cabinet maker with plans for really very beautiful but kind of conventional vanity. And it turns out that he was making baseball bats at that moment out of ash rods. So I saw the ash rods and I said, wouldn't that make a great vanity?